welcome to this podcast. My name is Emma and this is a podcast where I talk about all of my knitting. Today I have a lot of things to show you. I have 5 finished objects and 4 works in progress, I think. And so I think I might divide it into 2 parts. The first part with the finished object and the second part with the works in progress, because otherwise it's going to be way too long for me to edit, to upload on YouTube, and also for you to watch. So I think it won't be ideal if I only make one podcast, one video with all of those projects. So I think I might do that. And yeah, that's it. I'll see how long it takes. Maybe I'm gonna be very fast talking about everything and I won't need to make 2 episodes, but I don't know. I thought that with everything that I had, it would last more than 1 hour and that it would be a bit long. But do tell me what you think, because my episodes are usually quite long, since I don't record like every week or even every 2 weeks or even every month. So they're usually quite a bit long, but I don't know, tell me if you prefer shorter episodes with less objects, less projects in it, or longer where I can put everything in it. Yeah, and I don't know, I'll try this today and that's it. So I'll start straight away, because if I'm rambling on an already long episode, it's going to be even longer. So I'll start with the finished object. I'm not going to start with the one I'm wearing now. I'll talk about it a bit later. Although I can show you another thing I'm wearing, like wool thing that I'm wearing. I don't think you can really see it. Those are the intersection socks by Marceline Smith, and it was in the book 52 Weeks of Socks in the volume 1. And they are quite comfortable because it's not so warm yet, and so I like wearing woolen socks almost every day at the moment. So the first finished object that I have, I don't have it with me because it was a pair of socks that I made for a friend, and I already gifted them to her. And I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see them. I didn't even take a picture of the finished objects. One of them is finished and the second sock is a work in progress, but at least you'll see how they look like. And it was just vanilla socks. What did I do? I did 64 stitches for her feet that are 40.5 European size. And I did 1 by 1 ribbing for I think 15 or 20 rounds, and then just plain stockinette stitch for the rest of the foot. And if I remember correctly, because I didn't write it down on my notes, but I think I did a short row heel. And was it something special? I can't remember. But yeah, really basic socks, and they fit her perfectly. So I was really happy about that. And so yeah, I gifted them to her a few weeks ago. So that's it. I'm not gonna talk too much about them because I don't have much to say. And if you want to have more information about the socks, I'll put everything down below with my Ravelry links. So everything is down there, and also in the last episode I talked about the socks too. The second finished object that I have, I have 2 test knits that I did, well 3 really, but I'll start with that. So the first one is a beanie for a baby, which is here, with I-cord straps, and this is for the same friend that I gifted the socks to. And she was pregnant, she had her baby, and so I wanted to knit something for the baby. I did the size 3-month-old, and it seems quite big, but I can't remember how big a newborn head is and in the next few months. So I just followed the pattern. So this was the test knit, and this is this was a test knit, so it's finished. But for Sandra Magalhães, I have no idea how to pronounce that, from Agasalos e Bucalos, already knitted quite a few of her patterns, and I love them. They're really beginner friendly, lots of them. Really easy to follow. Everything is well written, and she puts pictures in her patterns, so it's really easy to understand what she means. If you don't understand with the text, the photo will explain it really well. So I think it's really nice to knit some her patterns. I really like it. The yarn that I used is Jenny Eve. I don't know which one is the brand, which one is the name of the yarn. It's a yarn that I've had in my stash forever. I think I bought it when I started knitting, and I didn't know anything about yarn. I'm not even sure that I've already used it, and I got the gauge with this one, and so I used it for the beanie, which is here. And I find it so cute. I'm not sure my friend will like it. Here it is. So we start here on the ribbing, then we continue, and we do some short rows at the end to make this pointy end here, and then we sew it down here to close it, and then we pick up stitches all around here to make the I-cord bind off here and the I-cord straps. And it was quite a quick knit. I didn't expect it, although I know that a hat and a hat for a baby is not so big, but yeah, really easy, really well explained. The kind of short rows that she uses in the pattern, it was the first time that I used those kind of short rows, and she put a link, the designer put a link in the pattern for a video. So it's her videos. She always puts some videos to explain, some tutorials, and so it was way easier with the video, because I wasn't quite sure I understood with the written instructions. And what else? I think that was it. That was the only thing that was new for me, but I always like to learn some new things, so it was nice. And so after this one, this was the first test knit, but I was doing 2 test knits at the same time for the same designer. And the second one is, I have to look, how is it called? The clothes for the oak folk. This is the set M. So this designer has a doll pattern knitted, and I've had it for a few months in the pattern, but I've never made it because I wasn't sure that my son would like a knitted doll. He has dolls and he loves them, but I wasn't sure he would like them, like a knitted doll. So I was a bit waiting to knit it until I could see him play with it, because I didn't want to spend so many hours knitting something that he wouldn't like. But I thought that I could make the clothes and then see if he likes them, and then maybe knit it. So that's what I did, and the set was a test knit at the same time, because I think that it has the same beanie in the set. Here it is. And it's so cute. So of course I started with the beanie. Because I already had it here, so I knew the instructions and I knew it would be fast. Oh yeah, that was a new kind of cast on too for me in the pattern, but I can't remember how it was called. But there was a video too, a tutorial in the pattern, so it was really easy. Anyway, so this is the same yarn, and so that was the first part of the set for the doll. So I knitted the beanie, and when I finished it, I gave it to my son, and I told him that it was for his doll, and he was so excited about it, and he came downstairs running to find his doll to put the hat on his doll, and I found it so cute, and I was like, okay, I think I can knit the rest of it, and he will be excited too, and I will knit the doll too quite soon, I think. But yeah, he was really excited. He was so happy. And so the second, I'm gonna show you the whole set. Maybe I can put a picture there so you can see everything together, but the second part that I knitted was a sweater, raglan sweater, some boots here. I don't know if you can see them well, so far away. It is, yeah. So 2 of them, and then some overalls here. So this is the same yarn again than the yarn, than the 2 hats, and this one here is some it's fil d'art, but I can't remember the name of the yarn itself. I'll write it down below in the description. All the information is on my Ravelry page also. And so I knit the sweater. I haven't quite finished it because I have to put a button at the back, and there's a little crochet chain here to attach the button, which I did, but didn't attach it because I wanted to see the size of the button that I was going to put on it, and so it just, I don't have the, the crochet chain anymore. But anyway, I still have to finish that, and it's a bit big now because we put it on my son's doll, which is bigger than the one from Sandra Magalhães, who did this design, and so it got stretched out quite a lot, and it's been on the doll since a week or 2 now, so it's really stretched out, but I don't really mind. It's a doll's clothes, so really easy. Nothing much to say about this one. Then the boots, they were knitted in corner stitch. Everything was so easy. It was really quick to knit, and I knitted the first one. And so in what order did I knit this? So I knitted the beanie, then I knitted the sweater. So I gave everything to my son as soon as I had finished them, so I didn't wait until I had the whole set done. Then I did the overalls, which don't fit the doll, so we couldn't put them on the doll. But the doll already had the jumper and the beanie. There are holes for the buttons, and also I haven't put them on yet. So I haven't finished it because I have to sew the buttons on the straps and then close it. Maybe I can show it a little bit closer. Yeah. And I find it really cute because in the pattern, either we can knit the legs in the round or flat and then sew them on at the end. And if we want to, in the pattern, she explains that we can also put some buttons on the inside of the legs, so we can change, like it can be a diaper change friendly overalls, like for real babies. So I found that cute. And so the doll was wearing the jumper and the hat. I finished just one boot, and I gave it to my son, and he was really excited. He put it on his doll, and then he was looking everywhere for the second boot, and I kept telling him I haven't knitted yet. So you can't find it, and he was like looking for it. So in the evening I made it. I knit the second one, and I think it was the next morning during his breakfast, and then I was knitting, and by the end of his breakfast I was done with the second boot. So that's how fast it is. And so he was really happy to be able to put the second boot on his doll. And I don't know if I said it, but those two are the same yarn. And I think that this is it for this set. Really enjoyed it. Really nice to knit, easy pattern to follow, so I really recommend her patterns. Okay, the next finished object is also a test knit. And this is the Sophorine tee from Audrey Borrego, Yarnflakes. Here it is. So for this pattern, it's you have the choice to knit either a tank top, like I did, or a tee with sleeves. So I decided I still have some yarns to weave in, but I'll tell you a bit later why I still have them. But yeah, for me, I did the one without the sleeves because I wanted it to be for summer, and I wanted a tank top. That's it. Anyway, so that was the first thing. And I did some modification because the collar is supposed to be a one by one rib, and for the armholes as well, and for the bottom too, for the hem. But I thought that for a tank top it was a bit too much, so I did some I-cord edging and for everywhere. And of course I asked the designer if I could do that before doing that. Otherwise, like if she had said no, I wouldn't have done it because it was for a test knit. And also to avoid the bottom of the tee flaring out, I did some decreases during the I-cord bind off. And how many did I do? I think I did one every 9th or 10th row, 10th stitch. I think, but this is written in my Ravelry page if you are interested. And I really like the finished look, and as you can see, it really doesn't flare out, but it stays a bit in. But since I don't have large hips, it's perfect on me like this. I blocked it and I really like it, but what I did was that I picked up some stitches. I started with the armhole, I think, well, this one actually, and I picked up some stitches with the same yarn, the same needle as the one for the body, I didn't go down one needle size. So that ended, and I think I knitted the whole I-cord with the same needles. So it ended being a bit too big, a bit too low, and so I think it's too wide, and I have to redo it to knit it with one needle size smaller, like I did around the collar and around the second armhole. So this one is actually a bit smaller than this one, the left one. So anyway, that's why I still have the yarn here, because I have to redo it, but I still wanted to be able to block it, to take some pictures for the test knit, and at the same way I could show it to you like this, finished, even though I still have something to do on it. And yeah, and so for those I-cord edges, I did the I-cord with 2 stitches for the armholes and the collar, and for the bottom I did it with 3 stitches, which I think I prefer. But yeah, and the collar is quite deep because my gauge was a bit off, and I had less rows for 10 centimeters, so I ended up having a collar a bit longer, and well, the opening here, but I could have done it otherwise, because in the pattern the designer tells us how to modify the increases if we don't have the same gauge as her for the row gauge, which is quite good. I just didn't follow it because I thought, it's gonna be okay, and because in her pattern the V-neck is not so deep, but because she did a collar with ribbing, which I didn't do, so it's a bit deeper for me, and it's not even less deep because I didn't do any ribbing, but it's okay. And I think it's gonna be quite it's quite loose, it's quite light for summer, so it's gonna be perfect. I haven't worn it yet because this is too big, but I think I'll still try it on. And yeah, and the yarn that I'm using, I think I talked about it in the last episode because I had already started it, but this is Drops Safran, and this is 100% cotton. This is a yarn that I had in stash for many years because I was knitting a tee. It was for myself. It was a kit from We Are Knitters that my sisters gifted to me, but it only had one size, so I did the one size that was in the pattern, and it was when I was learning how to knit, and so I didn't know how to adjust it, and it was too big at the end. And my sister really liked it, my little sister, so I gifted it to her, and it was 100% cotton. And so I bought some other cotton yarn, this one, to make another one for myself. And I don't know what I did, but I bought way too many skeins, and so I had a lot left over because I knitted one other tee with it. Well, it was a tank top, cropped, so I really didn't use much yarn, so I had a lot left over, and it was perfect for this one. I had exactly the right amount of yarn, so it was really nice. And yeah, I really do want to knit another one with the sleeves and with some linen, and I already have the yarn, so I think I already talked about it in the last episode, so I'm not going to talk too much about it now, but I already have the yarn, which is Natissé à Chanvre, and it's 95% linen and 5% cotton. I'm not sure why they put 5% of cotton in this yarn, but yeah. And I think it could be also quite nice to make one with 100% wool to make a slipover. I think it would be really nice. So I have that in mind. I think it's a very versatile pattern. We can knit it in so many ways, so many different ways. And also one thing in the pattern, the designer had some explanations to make it with stripes too. And so either with stripes of color or with stripes of texture, which I found really interesting. I didn't do it on mine because I wanted a really simple tee, but yeah, all the explanations are in her pattern, and the two versions that she made are really beautiful, and that made me want to knit one with stripes too. So yeah, so many options. I think we can make many different garments with this pattern, and that will look completely different. And yeah, I think this pattern is gonna be released on like mid-May, because the test is still running until I think the 15th of May. What I really liked about, because for all of her test knits, this designer gives a lot of time to do the test, and I think it's really good because we're not in a rush. I knit the smallest size, so I can be faster to knit. I don't have as much to knit as the biggest sizes, so even for me it's really comfortable. And so I think for the biggest sizes it's really nice to have that much time to knit her patterns during test knits. So I think this is really good. Yeah, I think that's it for this pattern. And that's it, and the last one is the one that I'm wearing. So my last finished object is the tee that I'm wearing, and this is the Tomba tee by Florence Miller. If you've watched the last few episodes, you've seen me knitting it, and I'm really glad I finished it so I can wear it. It was quite a long process. I think I started it in October, if I'm not mistaken, and I knit it with Knitting for Relief pure silk, and I think the color is petit, but is it this one or is it the other one? I'll put it in the description box down below for the color. But yeah, this is a tee with some saddle shoulders construction combined with some raglan construction, and I did one modification to it. So I need the smallest size. I have all the information about the sizing, about how much ease I have in my Ravelry page, because I always find it quite useful when I like the ease and look of a garment on someone, to know how much positive ease the person has on their garment. And so I put all the information in my Ravelry page. So if you're interested, you can have a look there. But yeah, I knit the smallest size, and I what did I want to say? I lost track of what I was saying. Anyway, oh yeah, one modification that I made is that it is supposed to have some ribbing here for the collar, for the sleeves, and for the bottom hem, but I changed it to have a sewing hem, and maybe I can show it a bit closer here. And at the bottom, I think insert footage here on the screen of me wearing it from a bit afar because I'm too close to the camera and I don't think you can see it really well. But yeah, I'm basically not so happy with the fit for a few reasons. The first thing is that I don't know what happens, but I do have enough room here, like it's not too close to my armpit, but every time I lift my arm, it has like, it's stuck in my jeans right now, so it doesn't lift really well, but the whole shirt lifts up, and then when I put my arms down, it stays a bit up. So I think I don't have enough room around the shoulders, maybe. I'm not sure, and I don't have really broad shoulders, not more than average, so I don't know what happens. And also around the neckline, I followed what the pattern suggested, but or did I modify it a little bit to have more stitches? What did I do? Can't remember well, but it was not laying flat. I showed it in my last video that when I didn't block it yet, that it wasn't really nice here, and it blocked out quite well, but I think we can still see it a little bit, and I will show it to you a bit closer. But here, as you can see, it's not perfect, and I won't do it again. I won't take up the collar and reknit it. It took me way too long to do it, so I'm gonna leave it like this. But I'm not so happy about it. I don't think you can really see it when I'm wearing it, so that's why I don't really mind. But yeah, and it's really nice to wear. I really like wearing this yarn. I think it's so nice. It's both like kind of soft, of course it's silk, but it's also like, it gives me warmth, but not really like too much. It's silk. It's really comfortable to wear. So I think I'm gonna be really happy to wear it all year round. So I'm really happy about that. I haven't been wearing it yet. I haven't worn it because I wanted to show it to you first. And yeah. What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, I do want to knit another tee like this, because I think it's really comfortable to wear. I've been wearing it a bit when I was putting the setup into place for the recording the podcast, and it was really nice. And I do think I want to knit another one like this, but not this pattern. Maybe I will try to find a pattern not with saddle shoulders, not with raglan, but with satin sleeves, I think, because it gives a really nice finished look. Yeah, I really like the look of satin sleeves, so I'm gonna try to find something like that. And yeah, and the other thing is, I think that with the sewing hem that I did here on the sleeves, it flares out a little bit when I'm wearing it, like this. I would have preferred it to be not as wide, but again, I'm not gonna redo it. I like it like this, and I think it's gonna be comfortable. It's not too much, it's okay, but I think I should have gone maybe half a needle size smaller to do the first or the second part of it, or the whole part maybe, because I think I knit 6 rounds in stockinette stitch, then 1 round of purling, and then again 6 rounds of stockinette stitch, and sewed it in. And I did put the link of the video tutorial that I used for the sewing part inside in my Ravelry page, because I found it so useful. I think it's really nice the way it is done. It's still elastic, so it's really nice. So I put the link in my Ravelry page. And also I used exactly 3 balls of yarn. Do I have the little bit left? I'm gonna get it. So I have this left. And I can show you how long it is. So my belly button is here, so as you can see, it's quite long. I think it's a bit longer than what I had in mind, but I think it's really nice because it covers everything, all my belly, and it hits at the hips. And yeah, I think it's the right length. I'm gonna wear it, I think, inside my pants anyway. But I wasn't sure I was going to have enough yarn for this, so I kept measuring and weighing my yarn again and again to ensure that I had enough. And so I did the top part, then knitted the collar, the sleeves, and finished everything so I could knit until I ran out of yarn. And I didn't want to run out of yarn before I finished it. And since I wanted to do the sewing hem, I knew that I still had 7 rounds plus the sewing at the end to do, and so I still needed to have quite enough yarn, and so I needed to know how much exactly I needed for those like 8 rounds. So I measured everything, I weighted the yarn when I was doing 8 rounds, and I kept like a security kind of gram. So I did 1 less round that I could have with this yarn left, but it's long enough, so I don't mind 1 less round. And I think I could have done it a bit shorter, it would have been okay too. I think I used less yarn that oh, maybe not. Maybe I had exactly what the pattern called for. I can't remember. But I used 3 balls of Knitting for Olive pure silk, and I need the size 1 or size A. I think she has letters for her patterns. So I think that's it for this finished object. I don't think I have much more to say. I don't think I forgot anything to say about it. I already bought 3 more balls of pure silk from Knitting for Olive to knit another one. I was thinking about a tank top, but I think it will be a tee because I think it's so comfortable to wear. And it's something like, oh, maybe this is petit. Oh, this was cardamom, the color. This is cardamom, and petit is the one that I bought, and which is kind of like white, grey, not like a really white one, but it goes a bit to the grey parts. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here with the finished object, and I think that I will do 2 parts with this episode, and so I'll see you in the next episode for the works in progress. And so I hope you enjoyed this part, and I'll see you next time. Bye!